Picture a winter's day in the early 20th century. Snow blanketing the ground, the world outside hushed and white, while inside, a fire crackles in the hearth, casting a warm glow across the room. The thick stone walls of the cottage hold back the chill, and the scent of burning wood mingles with the aroma of simmering stew. And yet, in the midst of this cozy scene, a window stands wide open, letting in a rush of icy air that swirls through the room, frosting the edges of the glass. At first glance, it seems irrational, almost reckless. Why would anyone invite the biting cold inside when every effort is made to keep it out? It's a question that might puzzle us today, accustomed as we are to sealed windows and central heating. But this was no accident, nor a careless mistake. It was a deliberate act, passed down through generations, rooted in a deep understanding of home and health. Our ancestors knew that winter's true enemy wasn't just the cold. It was the dampness that crept in with daily life, making the air heavy and the walls clammy. Every day, simple activities filled their homes with moisture, cooking hearty meals over a wood stove, boiling water for tea, and letting pots of soup bubble away for hours. Washing clothes by hand, bathing in steaming tubs, and even the simple act of breathing all added to the invisible tide of humidity. Without the benefit of modern ventilation systems, this moisture had nowhere to go. It seeped into the walls and floors, leaving behind water stains, peeling paint, and a persistent chill that no fire could quite chase away. The solution was simple, yet ingenious. A short, sharp burst of fresh, dry winter air, allowed to sweep through the house and carry the dampness away. Opening the window wasn't about losing precious heat. It was about driving out the stale, moisture-laden air and resetting the home's atmosphere, making it healthier and more comfortable for everyone inside. This daily ritual, often performed in the morning or after cooking, made their homes not only healthier, but ultimately warmer, as dry air is easier to heat and feels more comfortable. They understood, through experience, that a dry cold was far easier to conquer than a damp one. The difference between a clammy, bone-chilling house and a snug, welcoming home was often just a few minutes of fresh air. By braving a few moments of intense cold, they set the stage for lasting warmth and comfort throughout the day, ensuring the fire's heat could do its job. This forgotten wisdom reminds us that sometimes working with nature, rather than against it, is the true key to comfort and well-being, even in the harshest months. Our ancestors made their homes breathe, and in doing so, they made them not just livable, but truly alive, a lesson worth remembering as we seek comfort in our own winter days. Old homes were built from stone, timber, and lime, materials that breathed like a wool coat, not a plastic rain jacket. These natural materials were chosen not just for their availability, but for their unique ability to interact with the environment. Unlike modern synthetic barriers, they allowed air and moisture to pass through, creating a living, breathing structure that responded to the weather outside. These materials absorbed moisture when the air was humid and released it when it was dry. The walls, floors, and even ceilings acted like giant sponges, soaking up excess humidity during rainy spells or when people cooked, bathed, or simply breathed indoors. When the air dried out, the moisture would slowly evaporate back out, helping to balance the indoor climate. This breathability helped regulate the indoor climate, but it had a downside. While it prevented stuffiness and mold, it also meant that homes were constantly exchanging air and moisture with the outdoors. In damp climates, or during long, wet winters, this could become a real problem. When walls became saturated, they turned into cold, clammy heat sinks, making rooms feel colder no matter how much you stoked the fire. The very materials that made the house comfortable in dry weather could become a source of discomfort when they held on to too much moisture. The real struggle wasn't against the outdoor chill, but the indoor damp. People learned that fighting the cold was only half the battle. The real enemy was the persistent, bone-chilling moisture that crept into every corner of the home. Dampness clung to fabrics, made bedding clammy, and sapped warmth from the air. Clothes dried slowly, and even the air felt heavy and uncomfortable. It was a constant reminder that the house itself was holding on to water. People instinctively knew a dry house felt warmer, even at a lower temperature. Generations learned that comfort wasn't just about heat, but about keeping the air and everything in the house as dry as possible. Their goal, keep the structure dry, because a dry house was a warm house. This simple wisdom shaped daily routines, from airing out rooms to choosing when to light the fire or open a window. The open window was their best tool for wringing out moisture. Even in the depths of winter, a few minutes of fresh, dry air could make a world of difference. A rush of cold, dry air acted like a sponge, pulling water from the air and even from the walls themselves. This quick exchange helped reset the balance, making it possible for fires and body heat to actually warm the space. This reset allowed fires to heat the home efficiently instead of fighting a losing battle against dampness. Once the air was dry, the warmth from the fire could finally take hold, making the house feel truly cozy. The open window was a simple, effective way to dry out the very bones of the house. It was a daily ritual, a small act that made a big difference in comfort and health. It was the secret to comfort in a world before modern insulation, a clever, time-tested solution that let old homes breathe and their inhabitants thrive, even through the coldest, dampest months. Why did our ancestors swap their warm air for cold? At first, it seems counterintuitive. Why let in a blast of icy air when you're trying to stay warm? But the answer reveals a fascinating blend of science and old-fashioned ingenuity. The answer lies in physics. Water vapor has a high specific heat capacity. It takes a lot of energy to heat up. When the air inside a home is humid, every bit of warmth from the fire or stove is partly spent just raising the temperature of that moisture. Humid air steals heat, making your fire work harder just to warm the water in the air. The more moisture, the more energy is wasted, and the less effective your heating becomes. It's like trying to boil a pot of water with a candle, slow and inefficient. The heat gets absorbed by the water first, leaving little left to warm the room itself. By opening the window, they replaced damp, hard-to-heat air with cold, dry air that warmed up quickly. Dry air, with less water vapor, is much easier to heat, so the fire's energy goes straight into raising the temperature of the room. The result, less fuel needed, and a home that felt warmer, faster. Families could gather around the hearth and enjoy the comfort of a cozy space without burning through their precious wood or coal supplies. Dry air also slows heat loss from your body, making you feel warmer at the same temperature. When the air is dry, your body retains heat more efficiently, so you feel snug even if the thermostat isn't set high. Reducing humidity was a twofold victory: lower energy use and greater comfort. It meant families could stretch their resources further and enjoy a healthier, more pleasant indoor environment. This simple act of ventilation was a clever form of energy conservation. It was a practical solution that made a real difference in daily life, long before modern heating systems. Our ancestors understood that managing moisture was the real key to winter warmth. Their wisdom reminds us that sometimes the simplest solutions are the most effective, even in the coldest months. The method mattered as much as the act. Instead of leaving a window cracked all day, our ancestors used Stoßlüften, shock ventilation. They'd fling windows wide open for just a few minutes, swapping all the air in the room at once. This rapid exchange cleared out humidity without cooling the walls and furniture. The warmth stored in the building's mass stayed put, quickly reheating the fresh air. Stoßlüften remains common in Germany today because it's energy efficient and effective. It's a smart, time-tested way to keep homes healthy and warm with minimal energy loss. In homes heated by wood stoves or fireplaces, ventilation was truly a matter of survival and daily well-being. Fires need oxygen to burn. A tightly sealed house could suffocate both the flames and the people inside it. Occasional window opening ensured enough fresh air for clean, efficient burning and a safer environment. Without it, fires smoldered, producing smoke and deadly carbon monoxide that could fill the room. History is full of tragedies caused by poor ventilation and the buildup of toxic air indoors. The open window was a simple safety device, letting the hearth and the home breathe freely. Balancing warmth and airflow was essential for both comfort and ultimately for life itself. Today, we seal our homes tight to save energy, But this creates new problems. Trapped moisture leads to condensation, mold, and structural decay. Pollutants from cooking, cleaning, and even breathing build up, harming our health. Sick building syndrome is the result of forgetting that a house needs to breathe. Even advanced ventilation systems can't always match the effectiveness of simply opening a window. Studies show that natural ventilation often outperforms mechanical systems at clearing indoor air. Sometimes, the simplest solution, an open window, is still the best. Our ancestors' wisdom is more relevant than ever. The real battle for comfort is against moisture, not just cold. A dry home is a warm, healthy home. Windows are not just glass, they're the lungs of our houses. Shock ventilation, even in winter, is a small effort with big rewards. The best homes blend modern insulation with deliberate, regular air exchange. The story of the open window reminds us, a healthy home must breathe. By working with nature, we create spaces that are truly warm, safe, and alive.